Hi, howdy, hello. Welcome to the Fit and Free Show. I'm ZGALA, the Art Angel. You can call me Auntie Angel if you like. And I'm here in the Head Hutt Mega-Sculpture and going to do a quick full body stretch, I believe. And I'd like to invite you to join me if you feel like it, to whatever degree feels good in your body. I like to always remind everyone there's not one way, and you don't have to brush your hair, put on any special outfit, or build yourself a dome in order to check in with yourself. Give yourself a little bit more love. Just listen to your own body for a minute or two at the least. And if you'd like to follow along with some of what I do, whether it's the breathing part or some of the motions, please do, but please make sure and listen to your own body and override my lead with your lead. Deal? Deal. All right. I'm going to come back here and do some free arm swinging, as I often do just to get started. A little bit of heavy sighing. Let go of some stress. If you'd like to take a few breaths with me, just breathe in real deep. Expand the belly, and then just let it go with a little bit of gusto, a little bit of noise. I encourage you to try that out. I'm going to run through a sun salutation-esque. I say esque because it's not going to be a real sun salutation, just going to have elements of what might be in a sun salutation. Starting with standing in Tadasana, or mountain pose, rooting my feet into the center of the earth, imagining myself extended from the center of the earth to the center of the universe in a nice straight line coming through the center of the body. Drop those shoulders. Make sure the knees aren't locked. Lengthen the back of the neck a little bit so the ears are over the shoulders. And just standing, looking out at the horizon or the imagined horizon. And on an exhale, I'm going to step back with that left foot into a moderate lunge. Feet are now parallel, or still parallel, and hips are working toward the perpendicular. So I'm going to pull that back hip forward and the forward hip back, looking for a perpendicular line with the hips to the parallel feet. I'm going to do a forward fold because there's a bunch of mosquitoes down here. I'm going to maybe at least scare them away for a sec. And continuing to move those hips onto the perpendicular line, draping the upper body over the lower body, aiming my chin for my toes. Still working those hips forward and back on that perpendicular line. And on every exhale, just coming into a little bit of a deeper forward fold. And then I'm going to put hands down on either side of that front foot, bring weight onto the hands, and bring that front foot back and push into Adho Mukha Asana, or downward facing dog. Pressing down in those heels, pressing back with the hips, pressing down with the heart and chest. Head is in line with the arms or the elbows. Let's bend the right knee and press a little more into the left heel, and then bend the left knee and press more into the right heel. Alternating another time or two. And then pushing back again in the hips, pushing down with both heels. I'm going to swing the body forward through a plank position, and then drop the hips and let go of the toes, lifting the chest and the eyes to the sky and the chin. Pushing up into a cobra pose, really stretching that whole front of the body from the pubic bone through the belly, out the chin. Add a little tongue stretch there. See if I can touch the nose today, just barely. It's good to throw in a little tongue exercise besides just talking. Again, long tongue extended. Tongue toward nose. And then I'm going to push back into all fours at about a 90-degree angle with the lower body and slide these hands out as I bring the forehead to the floor in extended puppy pose. Continuing to slide the hands out and out and out. Relaxing the belly. Adjusting the forehead as need be. Really getting a nice stretch through the arms and chest and shoulders. I'm going to walk the hands back under the shoulders. Come to all fours in a tabletop position with a relatively flat back. And we're going to do some cat-cow breathing. So cat or Marjariasana, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin. Exhaling, squeezing all the air out with the diaphragm. Rounding the shoulders from side to side by pushing with the palms. And then cow pose or Marjariasana, or Bitilasana rather. Lifting the chest and eyes, lifting the tailbone. Breathing into the belly, and let's do that with the breath a few times. Exhaling and rounding. Inhaling and lifting. Squeezing all the air out. Lifting the front and back. And then coming back to tabletop, neutral position. I'm going to walk these hands out a little bit, tuck the toes under, and lift the hips again. Coming back into Adho Mukha Asana. Seeing about smacking a mosquito along the way. Pushing into the heels, pushing back with the hips. And I'm going to swing this left foot forward, the one I stepped back with first. Coming into a nice deep lunge on that side. Hands on either side of that front foot. Pushing into that back heel. And then I'm going to step forward with that back foot. Coming into a forward fold and just let gravity do some unwinding for a breath or so. Releasing the belly, releasing the low back, releasing the head and neck. I'm going to bring the hands clasped behind the back and add a little bit of an arm stretch there. Bringing elbows towards each other if possible. Really bringing the shoulder blades together. Point a finger if that feels good. And then pushing from the bottoms of the feet or the center of the earth, I'm going to unhinge with a relatively flat back. Coming up into a counter stretch, pulling down with those fingertips. Coming into a little bit of a back bend. And then back to center. Shake that off a little bit. Shake out the knees. Shake off the hands. Come back to Tadasana and just check in with the alignment. Relaxing the bottoms of the feet. Extending the back of the neck. And then I'm going to step back with the right foot into a moderate lunge on the other side. And again, pulling those hips onto the perpendicular line. Front hip back, back hip forward. Pushing into that back heel. Making sure that I can still see my front toes past that knee. Adjusting as need be. Feel nice and stable in that pose. And then I'm going to straighten that front leg and forward fold over it. Come down for some mosquito hunting again. Bring the hands on either side of that front leg or onto the leg. And still working to bring those hips onto the perpendicular line. Mosquitoes heard me and miscattled. Aiming the chin for the toes, draping the upper body over the lower body. Just taking a few breaths here to relax into that stretch. Still pulling the hips onto the perpendicular line. Still pushing into that back heel. And then I'm going to bring the hands on either side of that front foot, but bring weight onto the hands as I bring that front foot back and push again into Adho Mukha Asana or downward facing dog, pressing down in the heels, relaxing the belly, pushing back with the hips, kind of tipping the tailbone just a little bit toward the back of the head. For me, that helps me remember to relax the belly. The two kind of go together. I'm looking for that nice long line sensation from the fingertips through the spine, out the tailbone. And I'm going to come again through a plank position, pausing there maybe before dropping the hips and letting go of the toes, lifting the chin and the eyes, relaxing the belly. Let's look over the left shoulder, relaxing the belly all the way on the right for a nice stretch. Looking back at those heels behind me, and then back to center, lifting the chin again. And then looking over the right shoulder, stretching on the left. And again, back to center. Tucking the toes under, lifting the hips, coming back into downward facing dog or Adho Mukha Asana. Move my feet forward to step on the edge of my carpet so I don't slide it out from under me. And pushing down in the heels, pushing back with the hips. I'm trying to keep the mosquitoes off me. It's that time of day where they're coming out strong. Again, looking for that long line from the fingertips through the spine, out the tailbone. You can walk the feet apart just to vary that up a little bit. Push it back a little further with the hips. And walking feet back together, and I'm going to step forward with that right foot in between the hands, adjusting as need be, and again, pushing into that back heel, coming into a nice deep lunge on that side. And then stepping forward, coming into a forward fold from the hips. Let's contrast that hip fold with a waist fold by pulling up at the waist, so pulling back in the abdomen, round in the spine, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone, pulling back in the abs, and left elbow over right. I'm going to give myself a nice self-hug, pulling on those shoulder blades, maybe giving a little squeeze to the shoulders. Just exhaling, squeezing the air out, really rounding the spine. And then nice deep breath in and forward fold forward. Again, from the hips this time. Bend the knees if that feels good and straighten them a couple times. And then I'm going to come up for that self-hug again, but this time right elbow over left elbow. And again, pulling the chin forward, tucking the tailbone, pulling the abdomen up. So you're bending from the waist, rounding from side to side and from front to back, and squeezing the air out. Really squeezing all the air out, and then breathing in real deep, expanding the whole rib cage before bending forward again. Coming into that forward fold, just letting that all go. Let's bend the knees, swing the arms back. Come into that counter stretch again, this time with arms wide, pushing the hips forward a little bit, lifting the chest and the eyes, and coming back to Tadasana. Let's do a swan dive forward with a flat back, coming into that forward fold, holding here halfway, and then just letting all that go. Releasing the shoulders, releasing the neck. Maybe bending the knees a little bit, even all the way into a squat if that feels good. Coming up again into that forward fold, and then I'm going to push from the center of the earth through the bottoms of the feet, tipping the tailbone first, and Just rolling up one vertebra at a time, nice and slow. Coming back to upright. And let's check in with the alignment in Tadasana, relaxing the bottoms of the feet, making sure the knees aren't locked, making sure the hips are over the ankles, the shoulders are rolled slightly back and drop down and over the hips. The back of the neck is lengthened slightly, ears are over the shoulders. Few clap snaps to check in with the nervous system, and I'm going to just finish all that off with a little more free arm swinging, checking in with the rotation of the spine. Got a little hitch here and there, but overall I'm feeling pretty good today. Happy to say. I hope you're feeling good as well. I thank you for stopping by and sharing a little of your day with me. I hope you will be good to yourself and stay curious and courageous, and hope to inspire you to get more fit so you can be more free. However, whatever that means to you, I encourage you to explore that, contemplate it a little bit. And if you like and subscribe, then hopefully I'll be seeing you soon. Ciao for now.